We've got a great edition of Taste Tahoe here. Julia Paradise in the studio from My Tahoe Chef, and we're sizzling up a mushroom tart, something I've never heard of.
Yep. Yeah,
so let's get into it.
It's a specialty dish of mine, Mike. It's a great little appetizer or a main dish to have with dinner. You can enjoy it with your favorite bottle of wine and just kind of mix it up.
So what's the process here? What are we gonna do?
So we'll just start by throwing 2 cartons of mushrooms into your pan.
Okay.
So you'll want to load them all in there. You want your olive oil to be nice and hot when you add them to the pan. Start kind of mixing it around a little bit. You want to get that olive oil all over your mushrooms. Make sure you get some oil on there all the way.
Okay.
You want to throw a little bit of salt in there, not too much to start, because mushrooms are like a little sponge.
Okay.
So the next thing we're going to add is some wine. I like to use a wine that you like to drink. So whatever you want to drink that tastes good to you is going to be good in your food.
Right.
So
because it matches the palate, it all sort of goes and flows together.
Exactly.
Cool.
Especially if you're only going to use about a cup of it, which is what we're going to use here. If you only use about a cup of wine in the dish, that means you have a whole bottle to drink.
Yep.
So
Yep.
might as well like it. Ooh, good. A little bit more.
All right, so that settles it down a little bit there, and that's sort of gonna cook them through a little bit more.
Yeah, that'll cook them through, and that wine will become a really nice sauce. And as that cooks down, you'll start to see some color come into the mushrooms.
Oh yeah.
That flavor will really get absorbed in there. And turn that up a little bit more so we can get a little simmer going on.
And then about approximately how long do you let this simmer and stir for?
Just a couple minutes. So the sauce will start to thicken up a little bit. You'll see that red wine kind of soaking into the mushrooms. You'll see the mushrooms start to change color. And as that happens, you can get ready to go ahead and pour it into your crust.
All right.
So the crust that I like to use is just a pastry crust. You can cheat and go to the store and buy a store-bought pastry crust, or you can make one at home yourself. And then we'll add a little bit of cheese to it. And this is it's a Havarti cheese. So it looks just like butter, but it's actually cheese.
That's a creamy form of cheese.
Super
if you haven't had
cheese.
it, you are missing out.
Super, super creamy.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you want for this. And you can have whatever kind of cheese you like. It doesn't have to be Havarti. If you hate Havarti, go for Brie or go for
some Parmesan.
Parmesan would be fine.
Okay.
Mozzarella would even be okay.
Yeah.
So you see the sauce is starting to get a little bit brown, and the mushrooms are starting to take on the color of the wine. We're pretty much there. All right, so then we'll just go ahead and pour some of the mushrooms into our tart. Make the first layer in there. Then we'll add some cheese, just a couple little pieces in there. And I used almost the entire block of cheese on this. So it takes
go wrong with that.
Takes quite a bit of cheese. It'll handle it. Got a little bit more cheese going.
Layer it down.
We're just gonna use the rest of this cheese because there's never too much cheese. It's like
especially
bacon.
Havarti, my favorite.
Nobody ever said there was too much bacon.
So how long do you put this in the oven for?
You throw this in the oven for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Where you're gonna put a top layer of crust on here, put it in the oven, let it cook until the top crust is kind of golden brown. And once it's golden brown, you're ready. It's usually about 15 to 20 depending on your oven.
All right.
At 375.
Well, let's stick it in the magical oven here.
Beautiful.
Fade. And voila. You've got your mushroom tart right there. And then what would you pair this with at My Tahoe Chef?
I would enjoy some more wine.
All right,
and then I would also have a little salad. And if you wanted to make it more of a side dish, you could have like a filet mignon or some tri-tip, something like that on the side. Scallops go beautifully with this as well.
No work involved for you. Let Julia handle it in the kitchen at your home. We'll be back right after this break.